Hi, my name is Brianne Perry, and today I would like to discuss the Oreck Corporation and how its business continuity plan was affected during Hurricane Katrina. This presentation is intended to illustrate the importance of implementing a business continuity plan and also to discuss the consequences that may arise from not having an adequately prepared plan. It must be well thought out, tested, and reviewed, and it must cover all potential risks and disasters. During 2005, when Hurricane Katrina hit, the Oreck Corporation kicked its established plan into action, but quickly discovered that it fell short. Although it did allow the company to reopen its doors sooner than most, there was a great deal of improvement and reorganizing that needed to take place in order for the company to be better prepared for future disaster. The Oreck Corporation was founded in 1963 by David Oreck. More than 50 years later, the company continues to produce and sell vacuums, with the addition of steam mops, floor machines, air purifiers, and cleaning products for use in both homes and hotels across the United States, Canada, and parts of Europe. During the time of Hurricane Katrina, the CEO of the Oreck Corporation was Tom Oreck. The company's headquarters were located in New Orleans, Louisiana, and the company's 375,000 square foot manufacturing plant was located in Long Beach, Mississippi. In August of 2005, Gulf Coast residents were given warning that a major storm was on its way. And on the morning of the 29th, carrying a Category 3 rating, Hurricane Katrina made landfall. With unrelenting winds and rain, the storm brought havoc on New Orleans and the surrounding areas. But it was the aftermath of the storm that proved to be more devastating than anticipated, causing one of the largest and greatest human and business displacements in recent American history. However, Oreck initially felt that they were ready to weather this storm. The Oreck Corporation, located in a hurricane-risky area, had been diligent in preparing a disaster recovery plan. The established plan was based on the assumption that either the manufacturing facility or the company's headquarters would remain active in the case of disaster, therefore giving them a location capable of continuing operations without having the possibility of complete shutdown. Upon notification that Katrina was en route for New Orleans, Tom Oreck boarded a plane with the company's backup tapes and headed for Houston. Once landed, the backup tapes were sent to the company's backup center. The company embarked on a range of recovery measures. The call center, along with order entry and customer service operations, were moved to a third-party facility in Boulder, Colorado. Manufacturing was shut down. Crucial documents were relocated, and the employees were instructed to take their laptops with them upon evacuating. Through ongoing news coverage, the actual storm damage became apparent. The levees were failing, and 80% of the city was underwater. The area surrounding the manufacturing plant in Long Beach was devastated by the hurricane. The Oreck sign was ripped off of the factory, but the building remained intact. Over half of Oreck's workers were displaced. Oreck's IT system at the headquarters and the manufacturing facility were both left in ruins after the storm, and the company's core systems were up and running at IBM's facility in Boulder, Colorado, but communication was down. The data center was unable to communicate with headquarters and the factory, which is where important local area network and PC-based files were stored on servers. Additionally, they were unable to establish communication with vital business partners, including UPS or credit card processors, or with the company's e-commerce or point-of-sale systems. Additionally, dedicated T1 lines from the corporate headquarters in New Orleans that were used to connect all crucial parts of the corporation were damaged by Katrina. The company was unable to communicate with its dispersed workforce due to the outage that took out 800 phone numbers that Oreck employees were instructed to call in the case of emergency. The company's communication plans fell apart, and they were left attending to employees' personal needs so that they were better able to focus on the business. The Oreck Corporation was able to reopen 10 days after Hurricane Katrina, which was attributed to the company's preparedness and implementation of a business continuity plan. With almost 2 weeks of inventory stored in the company's retail outlet, production commenced in the damaged Long Beach facility with the use of generators and more than 40 imported trailers to provide emergency shelter for its workers. Replacing the damaged T1 lines was a designated priority in Oreck's disaster plan. However, it was necessary to alter the initial plan and instead implement a virtual private network. Soon the data center in Boulder was able to communicate with the rest of the business. The distribution of vacuum cleaners to customers became the company's next priority, which was handled by a deal made with UPS. UPS agreed to transport food and water to Long Beach and return to Atlanta with vacuums, which it would in turn distribute for the company. Unfortunately, 6 months after Hurricane Katrina, the Oreck Corporation announced that it was closing the production facility in Long Beach and moving to Tennessee, deciding to diversify out of the hurricane zone. The repositioning stemmed from the company's inability to acquire enough insurance to cover the facility, and it was unable to hire the necessary skilled workers to replace those that never returned after Hurricane Katrina, mostly because they had no home to return to. The move would come at the expense of 500 workers that were at the Mississippi plant. According to Michael Evanson, the CIO for Oreck during the time of the hurricane, the most important thing is the recognition that IT is only a tiny part of the disaster plan. The disaster plan needs to include the whole business. The company walked away from the disaster more aware of its current business continuity plan lacked and what it needed to adjust in order to be better prepared for future disaster. They chose to rewrite the company's disaster recovery plan based on what worked and what didn't work within the current plan. The company knew that they needed a plan that would allow them to better operate remotely, and they also needed to ensure that there was an established disaster plan with its business partners. The company goal was to develop a plan that would allow it to operate through a disaster similar to that of Hurricane Katrina with no downtime. They began planning with a personal and company guarantee that they would have an established plan in place before the next hurricane season. Thank you so much.